Hey guys, it's Josh Vision, and I'm here to give you my what if video on essentially what if Ragnar had stayed for those 8 to 10 years, season 4A and season 4B in all its glory. Now, here we go. So, in my opinion, I feel as though here's how things would have worked out. I feel as though it would have taken Ragnar 3 to 5 years. Yes, 3 to 5 years before he'll be able to fully return back to himself, or at least the Ragnar that we've seen for a finale when he confronted, his sons. And I feel as though Bjorn will basically be the de facto king of Kattegat. Ragnar will still be there, but due to him having to recover, Bjorn will basically be taking all the responsibilities of a king. Now, with Bjorn basically being front and center, taking control, we're going to have the fine hairs are basically not going to try to take advantage of a weakened Ragnar since Bjorn is there. So for that, I feel as though in regards to the kids at this time, Ube, Visik, Sigurd, and Ivar, I feel as though Bjorn's going to basically be taking the reins of the tutor that, they'll be, Ube and Visik will be learning from Bjorn. So instead of sort of like how in the current timeline in which let Bjorn doing his own thing with his fam, and basically Uba had to raise the kids, both Ube and Visik are going to be learning from Bjorn. Now Bjorn will still be making his children, but he'll have a much closer relationship with his brothers. And that'll be in part due to the fact that Ragnar is there, and Ragnar's going to force, Bjorn to be close to his brothers, And in regards to Ivar and Sigurd, that means they're going to be with Ragnar, and this benefits them tremendously because, for one, with Ragnar being there, Ragnar will literally be able to teach Ivar how to have a much, much greater control, and thusly teach Ivar even more about how to become even more manipulative and even more sadistic and more cunning than even he is now at this current time frame. Now, in regards to Sigurd, not to be a jerk, because like I said before, I honestly don't know what Sigurd ever got from Ragnar. Maybe it's besides the fighting and maybe a little bit of his rebellious nature. He always reminded me more of his mother. But Sigurd and Ivar's relationship, will it be as contentious as it was? No, it'll be much more, better than it was, that led to that whole explosion at the end with Sigurd's death. But there will still be animosity because the whole thing with Harbard still would have happened, in the years prior, neglect and all that stuff. But they'll just be able to better work together. Floki will still be teaching Ivar about the paganism fundamentals and all that crap and the gods. But with Ragnar being there, Ragnar will be able to get Ivar off this single-minded version of, okay, this is the Viking way, this is how it is. Ragnar will be able to give Ivar a much more approach to the different religions and why, like Ragnar said at the end, of his character run, the gods are something that man creates in order to explain the BS or their own failures, essentially. Ivar, a different aspect to expand upon, Now, when it comes to Aslog and Lagertha, now, they will fight. And we can expect Lagertha to beat the crap out of Aslog. But Aslog will put up at least a decent fight for someone that doesn't really know how to fight. And the point of this, I feel as though that they would at least have gone to a point in which legit respect for each other due to the fact that they were able to fight each other. Now, after that, I feel as though Lagertha and Ragnar will probably most likely get back together. But when they get back together, that's when, and I think this falls around probably a year or two off when Ragnar actually returned, his little sabbatical, his little rehab, whatever. But this is when Bjorn sort of goes to the Mediterranean a few years early, and Ragnar and his other sons joins Bjorn. And at this point, Ragnar, Rollo, Bjorn make peace with each other. It's gonna be basically, it would go down in a similar way, sort of like how the thing went down in season 4B, with basically Rollo having to earn his stripes back, getting basically drowned for the most part, basically getting pulled out the last possible minute and all that stuff. Then once they had that little bit of closure, I believe there's a good chance that Rollo will get some of his Norman men to join alongside Ragnar's. Because at this point, I feel as though Ragnar is going to tell his children about the whole Wessex settlement. Army joining them, or parts of the Norman army from Rollo's camp. I still believe Ivar will come up with the idea of bringing along other people from their country, you know, creating the Great Heathen Army alongside the Norman that they're getting. So Ivar will still have the idea of the Great Heathen Army. You know, be pretty much consistent. Now, in regards to, before I go in detail about, you know, in the video and how, you know, and all that crap, here's how I feel as though Ube, Visik, Ivar, and Sigurd would end up being after having a little mentorship, Ragnar, Floki, you know, respectively. Now, I feel as though Ube and Visik would still essentially be the same in terms of their personalities, you know, regardless if it was with Ragnar or Bjorn. I just feel as though in terms of fighting, as much of a gap as it was season 4B between Ube, Visik, and Bjorn, due to the fact they'll be training with Bjorn, so it wouldn't be as much of a gap. They'd probably be his equal, and if not his equal, they wouldn't be far off. Now, like I said before, with Ivar, he'll be more controlled. He wouldn't be much of a jerk and a baby, and Ivar would just basically get a much more deeper understanding of religion and people, all that crap. So, with the Great Heathen Army being formed, I believe that's going to lead to essentially, like we saw before, and I see Ragnar and Egbert eventually killing each other. They will kill each other. Or Ragnar will kill Egbert, and then he'll probably get killed by Aethelwulf. And with that happening, then it's definitely going to be at that point the sons of Ragnar versus, you know, Alfred, Aethelwulf, and all that stuff. Pretty much back to where we are now in season 5. What do you guys think would happen if Ragnar has survived? Thank you guys for watching this video. Adios, and have a good one.